Hey, welcome back. It's Chuck Charlton here from Royal LePage, and I want to talk to you about some of the new rule changes for Canadian mortgages. And there's a lot of hype out there. I want to break it to you as straight and as real as possible. So there's 4 changes that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try and break it down on how it affects buyers and sellers. Now, the first one is the maximum amortization is going to be reduced to 25 years from 30 years. And if you remember, even in the last 5 or 6 years, we've seen it as high as 35 and 40-year amortizations. We've seen zero downs. All those have now gone away. And so we're back to a 25-year. That seems to be a historically traditional way to go. Now, what that essentially does is we know we can't affect interest rates because there's just too much to lose in a lot of other industries, domestically, internationally. We have to watch our trade with the US. So we know we're in a low interest rate environment for a long time. There's stuff going on in Europe that really nobody knows how long that's going to take to fix. And so what this does, it's the equivalent of about a 0.9 to a 1% increase in interest rates. So the effect for most buyers, if they could qualify for a $400,000 purchase on a 30-year mortgage, for that same level of purchase, for the same monthly cost, it drops down to about $360,000 on a 25-year. So it will have a bit of an effect. I could see the upper ranges maybe slowing down a little bit. They say that 40% of people used a longer than 25-year amortization, but you wonder, out of those 40%, how many people could have actually done it on a 25. So it's going to be a nice, healthy thing, I think, for the market. These are, I think, overall good rule changes. The second one is that the amount of equities people can take out of their house will be reduced to 80%. Okay, so it's down from 85. Before, if you had a $400,000 house, as long as you left 15% equity in, you could take out anything else. And so now that's up to 20% that you have to leave in. And there's been a disturbing trend in Canada, if you look at the numbers, that people are using their homes like an ATM. And that's not what it's designed for. And so the real problem seems to be credit card debt. And so what a lot of Canadians are doing is they're washing, rinsing, lathering their credit card debt into their mortgage. And they want to start avoiding that and having people confront the real issue, which is spending more money than they make. And the average Canadian spends $1.50 for every dollar they make, which is a very scary thing. And so that hopefully will reduce that trend a little bit. And so this one's not going to affect people as much, but the maximum, what we call GDS, gross debt service ratio, will be fixed at 39%. So that what that does is, if you have no other debts, because normally there's a total debt service, which is your home-related expenses, your mortgage, your heat, your taxes, plus your student loans, visa, that was fixed at 44. It pretty much always has been. But if you didn't have any debts, you could stretch your mortgage and your home carrying costs up to there. So now they've fixed that at 39%. So it reduces the purchasing power for the people without any debt by a little bit, and I think that's fine too. It's probably a very small change in the big picture. And so government-backed mortgages are going to be limited to homes with a purchase price of less than $1 million. So what that means, you're buying a home for $1 million, you need at least $200,000, you need more than 20% down. And what we're starting to see with a lot of lenders is they're really scaling back. So by the time you get to 1.5 million or 2 million, you might need 40% down. So they've really changed. Some lenders will just completely cap their lending. They'll say we won't lend more than $1.5 million. So that's something, if you're in a higher price range, you definitely want to pay attention. You want to get requalified. So the deadline for all this stuff is July 9th. So as buyers, obviously you want to make sure your approval's in place. If these rules are going to substantially affect you, you definitely want to push the gas pedal on your purchase. But if not, then you definitely want to just make sure that if you were qualified on a 30-year, can you still be in that price range if you can only do a 25-year mortgage? And the other thing is, if you're thinking about taking equity out of your house, and I would encourage you to do it responsibly, meaning you're not taking equity out of your house to buy a new stereo. If you're looking at maybe buying an investment property or doing something with the equity in your home, you can gain an extra 5% from 80 to 85%. You've got that extra 5% buffer if you take advantage of that before July 9th. So we know a lot of great mortgage specialists. We'd be glad to introduce you to somebody if you don't know someone who can really guide you about your best options. But that's pretty much what's going on. And if you do have any questions, chuck@livinginmilton.com, or give me a call at 905-693-9346. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye for now.